Well, here it is in its current resting place. I went ahead and some of the paint that peeled and bare metal is showing. I went ahead and put some paint on it just to at least, you know, obviously cover the bare metal, because they didn't even do that, which is sad. This thing's got so much gunking over it and everything. Even though I've not started on it yet, I'm going to wash a bunch of this gunk off. There's ants' nest all in it. The trunk, I'm ripping the carpet out right now because there's ants in it. You can tell it's had some water. I want it out of there. If it gets more water, I don't want anything to hold moisture. The interior seems fine. The bottom, actually, I was young, you know, when my dad had this car, and I don't remember it being undercoated, but apparently it is, and it's still pretty solid underneath. So that's a great sign, you know. And maybe the trunk is too. So maybe it's just surface rust. I don't know yet. Gotta take the carpet out. That's why I got a screwdriver. Open the trunk, because the cam lock itself is actually damaged, not in the sense someone tried to break into it, but where it goes through the trunk and where it actually hits the lock itself, the mechanism, that part's damaged. So I'm gonna go ahead and there are parts in the trunk. I'm not gonna use them. This was my dad's car. I mean, the tires on this thing, 3 out of 4 tires are the same tires that were on it when those pictures were taken. But you know what? I think it does need an upgrade, honestly, on a lot of things, and I'm going to try to do this car right to the best of my abilities. So I'm going to clean out that trunk, go ahead and clean it out, and make sure there ain't nothing harboring in there and all that good stuff, and clean the body and get a lot of this stuff that's been sitting for years off of it. Maybe it'll shine again. But look at that right there. Look at the deck lid and look how that actually looks right there. And look at that right there. I can honestly say this car was a beautiful car at some point. And you can see all this coating on it. It's got a lot of this coating everywhere on the car. It's all underneath it too, so I think a lot of this car is actually saved. But I won't fully know until I dig into it. But like, obviously, you can see right here where I just threw some rattle can because the paint's peeling because it was bare metal. You can't have that. It sounds like there might be something in the trunk lid too. I'm gonna spray it out and all that good stuff. And you can see here's the radiator that was in it. It's been sitting forever. I'm not gonna use it. I'm gonna upgrade. There's a starter. I still gotta go pick the 455 up. The distributor he had one of these, but that's old, worn out. Pulley I'll keep. I'll get a new one, but I'll keep that just in case. Windshield wiper motor. This thing's also gonna get a new harness. I'm gonna do this thing right. I'm not gonna half-ass this thing around. Well, that's interesting. Now, my dad was a bit of a clean freak, and I know he wouldn't have done this, but 1997. That's crazy. That's a Times record. Fort Smith newspaper from 1997. Man, that's crazy. Didn't look like there's anything worth keeping that for. I think someone just threw a freaking newspaper in there or something. Like I said, distributor shaft's not bad to keep. Wiper motor, I'm gonna hang on to that. Radiator, I'm gonna put a cold case in it. Not sponsored, but hey, if you want to, go for it. Alright, now there's a few things in here I have to do, okay? I'm just going to be honest with you guys. I know Will's mentioned, you know, the Efurd garage look under the hood, you know, the Efurd look. Well, I want to show y'all something. You know, I always use some kind of wire looms to separate my spark plug wires to make sure that they're all nice and neat looking and all that. And this is going to show you something where I kind of got it from. Well, where I got everything from. You know, my dad. There's his old wire loom holders. He did the same. That's obviously I picked up on that. And, you know. Oh, the memories. And there's something that is 100% going back on this car. Is air cleaner nut that had the Pontiac arrowhead on it. Ain't that something? And you know, in a sense, I am thankful that the guy that I got this from didn't really do much, because it's almost just like my dad had it, you know? I mean, with the exception of a few things, I mean, it's just like it was, you know? It's, I can rebuild this. And like I said, obviously I am upgrading things without a shadow of a doubt. Like the brakes. Brakes are getting upgraded, 100%. Because it is 4-wheel drum. But this one has power, unlike the 64. The 64 has 4-wheel drum and no power. This at least has power. They're both single master cylinder. His favorite color was red, though. And, you know, the dipstick handle was painted red. You know, stuff like that. Now, I am going to go track down the Mickey Thompson valve covers that were on this. And, yeah, you know. But let me get this finished cleaned out. It's still got a bumper jack in it and that old spare that's... that still works. It's still set up to where you can, you know, bolt down the spare with the bumper jack bottom and the bumper jack sitting there. It's cool. That's cool. I'm gonna get this ripped out in this this stuff. And good Lord, I see. This pan was, well, let me get this out of there and I'll show you. Trying to get that gunk out between the two panels there, because washing out the inside of the trunk, it wasn't draining. Now my dad did daily drive this. Rain, shine, snow, whatever. This is his daily driver. Didn't matter. And because it's set, a bunch of gunks built up in there and damaged some of the metal. But at the same time, you know what? I need to get it out of there, clean it out. I know there's a lot of work I got to do. Got more to do in here, but I can see a seam here. This obviously has been patched the way they had to patch it back in the day, because they didn't make a patch panel. I don't mind the flat look. And it looks like they patched over the old floor, so what I need to do is figure that out eventually and fix that, and I can do now. I can buy a patch panel for the whole thing. So if I gotta cut all this out and put a patch panel in it, I'll do it. But one thing I'll have to do is drop the gas tank to figure everything out. Now, unfortunately, because they let it sit so long and never cleaned it, there was gunk all built up in here. And you see, I got some of it off. Took some of the paint off there. I'll have to put some paint down after it dries. But because of that, this is rusted pretty good. You know, there's got a hole. Thankfully, I've learned to fabricate over the years, and I can weld, so at least I can take care of that myself. I need to clean the ears. gunk off this thing and see what this car really looks like, and maybe it'll look good again. And I know cleaning this in this shape really counterproductive in a sense, especially since I'm parking it under a tree now. But the space I got at the moment, since it was one of those things that it had to come home when it came home, there's not really much of a choice. But there it is, cleaned up. And now I got some decisions to make. Pull back a little carpet. There's going to be some patches in the floor, obviously in the body, all that good stuff. Now I got to figure out what and how I'm going to do this. What I want to do, how I'm going to do this. I did go pick up the 455 earlier. It's in pieces, but it's a 455, 13 cast heads. The cam, 507, 108, little LSA, which got a pretty good thump. And right now, I'll probably try to put it back together just to get it running here in the future. But there's some things I got to figure out before I can do that. So I'm not going to be able to start this project yet. I wanted to get it home, get it cleaned up, to even see what I'm about to start with. See what I'm going to have to work with, you know? So, hope you look forward to the future episodes on this project. And this is one that ain't leaving my hands. I'm going to keep this one. So I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, thanks for watching.